All right. All right, so for tonight's main event is Joe Roberts. And Joe has done all kinds of things in the community relative to sports. My kids certainly participated in his Terriers program over the years. He's done a great program after school, which I'll talk about in detail. So without any further ado, Joe Roberts.
Thank you. I gotta say, I kind of love the going just like with this thing not working, and then going to the laptop with the crack. We got like the crack screen on the laptop. My wife is just like, aren't you gonna fix that? I'm like, I actually it's intentional because I can see. It's sort of like my resistance to the whole technology world, like, you know what, I'm going to work with this thing until that thing starts falling apart, and I can't see that I'm not going to go spend my $100 put another piece of glass in there.
Do we need new equipment here? Is this it? Because I'll donate to get new equipment. I've been in Rotary for what, 20 years, and we've had 20 years of failure here. Do we need new stuff?
Perhaps.
Who knows?
You should get a small portable projector. That would make a lot of sense.
No, but I also like it because it's like, I'll talk about.
We like this, it's so intimate.
Yeah. I'll talk about our programs, but it's like, this fits with youth activities.
Yeah,
because when you're running a youth program of any type, you need to be ready for things to go wrong. Like so I got a lot of experience dealing with like things going wrong. So anyway, thank you again, and I got some great coaching from John. We're going to keep this. I got 10 slides here, John, about maybe 11, but quick bullet points, quick overview of our history, what we're trying to do. We have a real nice, quick 3-minute highlight film that we actually just submitted to the Metro West Health Foundation last Friday. They've got like a $25,000 contest in a bunch of different categories. That's a big foundation, and so ours is under the mental health and wellness category.
How much money are you looking for?
That's for that program is $25,000. It's a winner take all.
Your winner takes $25,000. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Uh-oh.
There
we go.
There you go.
I got this. All right, here we go. Take two. All right, so Community Investors is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We were established in 2014 as a nonprofit organization. It's really been evolving since 1991, which makes it our 30th year. 1991 is when we started up Terriers, which started as a 1-week baseball program in Wellesley, just to provide kids with something to do fun in the summer. And over the years, it has evolved into basically 12 months of a variety of programs, summer camps. We do, like 6 weeks of summer camp, vacation week programs, single day programs like a Veterans Day, 2-hour program, and nighttime stuff. We help the Little League run programs. We help Wellesley Youth Football run programs. There's just the need for the type of program that we run, which is all about just community-based, just kids in town, playing with kids in town, not traveling all over the country, and community-based and fun and inclusive. That is basically what we are. And so the Terriers programs ran for 25 years, and at a certain point, as times changed and kids, youth sports changed, and kids have changed, and all these new challenges came upon us, and a group of parents that I knew from town with backgrounds in mental health and teaching got together with me and said, this stuff that you do could really help in a bunch of different ways, especially with the schools and what they're trying to do, and so we founded the nonprofit organization. So our vision is very simply to improve the physical, social, and emotional health and wellness of youth through community-based recreational development. That is what we're trying to do, and I'll go through some stats, but these areas, physical, social, and emotional health and wellness of youth, kids today are really, really struggling in those areas at historic rates, and so we're trying to help. Here are some key stats: critical teen problems, and these are all cited in national publications. You look them up. This one's from the New York Times, September 2019. From the period of 2009 to 2017, age 14 to 17-year-old kids, 100% increase in suicidal thoughts and attempts. 60% increase in this is all self-reported, and it's not just, survey. These numbers, and if you dig into this article, these are numbers, these are emergency room visits. This is real stuff, okay? 76% fail active play guidelines. That's put out by healthcare.gov 2018, okay? So they have, I think it's an hour of play, an hour of active play. 76% of kids today don't get active play in for an average of 1 hour per day, okay? 70% of kids quit sports by age 13. That's another national survey. George Washington University reported in the USA Today in 2014. 70% of kids quit organized sports by the age of 13. The number one reason cited for that is that sports are no longer fun. Okay, they have taken the fun out of youth sports.
And that number, that 70% is higher than obviously historically
Yep.
the numbers may have been.
Yep. And numbers keep coming out that there was something that came out last year was the first year that participation in high school sports actually dropped. You're just seeing things all over the place. There are many reasons for it. This is the number one reason is the electronics, okay? And in fairness to the electronics industry, well, I'm about 50-50 on it. Half of it is, I'm not sure they knew what was going to happen. Half of it is, I think, unquestionably, you've got some very, very intelligent people with a lot of money who are actually designing their products to manipulate the brain to get the kids to just play more and more and more and more. Okay, with scientific research behind it, they know, and that's all goes to all goes to money. So that's what's going on. Okay, so kids aren't as active because they're on there's 7 hours per day screen time. That's an average. That does not include schoolwork. That was reported in CNN Health, October 2019. So that is all having just an enormous impact on kids. So what do you do about it? What do you do? How do you fix that? Okay. Fortunately, a lot of this is very, very fixable with real basic organic stuff, such as this is from a report. Commonwealth of Massachusetts report by the After and Out of School Council. So they did a 5-year study on after school and out of school programs and what effects those types of programs have on kids. After and out of school programs boost social and emotional skills, improve academic achievement, enhance college and career readiness, and spark passions. So after and out of school programs are where kids are picking up a lot of the things that they need to be happy and healthy kids. So that's our focus of our organization is to fill these gaps. Provide programs where there aren't enough programs, and where there are programs, improve the quality of the programs, because even when there are programs out there, a lot of them are not high quality. And if you're dealing with teenage kids, if it's not a good quality program, they are out faster than anyone. If it's not good, they are out, especially with the electronics. So, that's our specialty. We've got 30 years experience doing it. Our impact, we serve 2,500 students annually between the ages of 7 and 18. That's pretty much really just right here. It's mostly in Wellesley. It's 90% in Wellesley. We do a little bit in Needham. We run a program in Needham. We run one program in Needham, one in Natick. We run one in East Boston at a middle school, and one in Roxbury at a youth sports organization. And then the bulk of it is right here in our hometown. Over 200 plus grade-based sessions, so just a bunch of, baseball, basketball, flag football, soccer, 3-on-3 basketball, dodgeball, free play. We've got yoga programs, yoga and mindfulness programs at the middle school. So just a whole variety of things all based on physical activity, face-to-face interaction, having fun, all that kind of basic stuff, which just, when we grew up, we just, you all know, we just got home from school, had a snack, and ran back outside and didn't come back in the house until 6 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
That was what we had, and that has just disappeared, So we're trying to fill the gap. We've been doing this for 30 years, so we definitely have a recipe, okay? And I put the picture of chicken soup in here because this is really as simple as, chicken soup is just good for you. It's basic, right? This stuff is like chicken soup for kids. This is just what they need more of. Okay, so how do we make our chicken soup? We've been brewing it for 30 years. It's a very simple formula. This is our number one right here. Music is our absolute heartbeat of any one of our programs, any one of those 200 programs. You will not walk into the building without music playing. And it will continue to play until the doors close. It is on every single second that they're there. It is a very key component to our program. It does a number of things. It just sets the mood, right? I mean, if you want a kid to just be relaxed and have fun, throw some music on. And all of a sudden, it just transformed the whole environment. It's just one of those things and for some reason, you go around, you see people running programs, all these, there's a lot of programs out there. No one ever plays music. And so, the energy at our programs is at least twice what anyone else is doing, regardless of how the game is going or anything like that. Just because we've got the music going, the kids just have more fun. And it's like, if the kids have more fun, they come back and they do it again. So that's a key component. Energy, again, it feeds right off the music, but it's really, that comes from right here, our student coaches and refs and our student DJs and announcers. So, the majority of the interaction in our programs are kids coaching kids, high school kids and middle school kids coaching elementary school kids. That's our formula, and they each have really important parts. The middle school kids are they connect really well with the younger kids because they basically are still kids, so they're just fun and they like to just have fun. But they also like to coach a little bit because they're kind of tired of people telling them what to do. So now they like being having a little bit of authority. But then they're supervised by high school kids who have a little bit more organizational management skills than the middle school kids do. But you put those two together, and it's a really cool dynamic together with the elementary school kids. So that gives it a lot of energy. A lot of fun. Free play and team play, that's another thing. Free play is an absolute essential component of any program we run. Every program will start with at least 15 minutes of free play. That means if the kid walks in the door, okay, no one's telling them what to do. Okay, and that's again, with all these youth sports programs, it's just the youth world, sports world has just devolved, is that the right word? Into just, get in line, skills and drills, get your game to the next level, get better, none of the priority are just pick up a ball and go run around and have fun. It's just all out the window. So we make sure that we do that at every single one of our programs, and they absolutely thrive on it. You can see they're like, thank you, we never get to do this. And that's a variety of things. So if we do a dodgeball program, the first 15 minutes we'll do it in a gym, and so we'll just throw out basketballs, soccer balls, Nerf footballs. So they're throwing different, tennis balls, play wall ball with. Before we pull the dodgeballs out, they're just kind of mixing it up with that stuff, and then we'll get into what our main activity is. And again, they just kids like mixing it up. And of course, we've got adult supervisors, but they're mostly teachers or experienced adults who are good at it and care about it. Again, quality is key, and there's not a lot of good quality out there. So we always try to provide a good program. So our organization, what we're trying to do is we're doing a lot of programs in Wellesley. They need this stuff everywhere. They really do. They need it in every city and town in America. And the main objective of our organization is to fill the gaps in that are needed in Wellesley. For starters, this is our hometown, and believe it or not, there are still plenty of gaps. Specifically at the middle school, they have they do a good job educating the kids. They do not do a good job getting the kids active and engaged after school, together as a class, having fun together. It's just not enough there. And so that is a main focus to try to build more programs out at the middle school. It should be a lot easier than it is, but you're dealing with a school administration, bureaucracy, unions, and it takes time, but we are making very good progress with that. So build a team, develop a blueprint, and obviously with our team, it's with individuals, organizations, such as Rotary, supporting what we're doing, local corporations, foundations, develop our blueprint. So take the programs that we've been running for 30 years in all these different varieties and legitimately make blueprint of curriculum that you could share with other communities. So we could take our programs and go over to Natick and say, here's how we've been doing it, this works, and just give it to them and help them. The part of the formula is get a good young coach and train them, and then stay in touch and make sure that things are going well, and help them share all the things that get kids to go to your programs and then just slowly over the years have these towns build their programs up. That's how you do it, one town at a time. Education and awareness, and then generating sustainable support is something that obviously is important, and we're working on that. We do have some support from the state. We were pleased to receive some support. Thank you to Alice Peisch, who is our local rep. She's also the co-chair of the House Education Committee for the state, and her kids did our programs 25 years ago. She's known me for many, many years. She totally believes in everything that we're doing, and so she is helping to get us some level of support from the state. It's enough to keep our skeleton crew of individuals going, but it's not enough to keep us going long term. And so we're just working. Hopefully, with the endorsement from the state, we think will help us be able to go out to some of these bigger companies. We're thinking the New Balances, Reeboks, but we're also thinking the ones we really want to target are some of these technology companies, and say to them, look guys, you're the ones that are taking these kids and putting them in front of the screens for 7 days a week. So you need to support programs that gets them out there running around. And we think that we will be able to do that. It just takes time, but we're making good progress. We do have two opportunities for, if I could share with the club here, just to consider for supporting what we're doing right here and now. One of them I'm listing as an appetizer because it's a lighter dish or a lighter ask. And but it's a good example of like what we're doing. So it's this program called First Fridays. It's run at Wellesley Middle School, and it's the first Friday of each month. Now we run programs at Wellesley Middle School every single Friday. Okay, the first Friday of each month, they are able to get an extra late bus for the Metco students, which I don't understand why they don't have one more often than once a month, but that's all they have. So for once a month, the Metco kids get to stick around for an extra hour, and so we plan all sorts of fun stuff for them to do. Like we've got activities in both gyms, we've got stuff in the CAF, games, the Camellos donates pizza, we've got high school kids, the Key Club kids come over and do karaoke, and so they're all running around the school, having a blast together for 1 hour, and it's like, you know, that's how kids connect with each other, you know. So this has been a great program. Wellesley Recreation has been very supportive, and we've done, I think, 5, 6, or 7 of them this year. I'm not sure. Whatever their budget for the year ran short by 1 month to support what we're doing in this. So we have one coming up, I think in April is the last one of the year. And so we don't have funding for the staff to run that program, I'm just listing it right here. So for that program, we have 4 high school students, they get $30 each for an hour, which is not bad for a high school kid. You gotta pay them that, because if you pay them less than that, then they don't show up. We've learned that one. I mean, they're high school kids, it's like, if you pay them well, they'll show up. And if you try to short them and be like 20, then, you know, the chances that they'll show up some of the time, but they won't show up all the time.
It's a Friday night.
Right. So, you pay them well, they show up. So they get $30 a piece times 4, it's $120. We pay 2 teachers $60 a piece. That's $120. We pay the Wellesley High School coach and she brings a couple of team members over. They run like double dutch and stuff like that. So for the whole, and then Wellesley Middle School charges us $113 for this. Yeah, they won't. We actually went to the school committee and asked them to waive. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are not charging anything for these programs, and they wouldn't waive it.
Ooh.
So that's another work in progress that we're Anyway, 453, I direct this whole thing, and then we've got a coordinator directing it. We're donating our time and services for this thing, so that's one thing hopefully you would consider. The main course ask, and I'll get to this in a second, is our summer coaching scholarships, because that is really the heart and soul of our program is the summer program. That's where everything really started, because that's where you get a kid, they're there Monday through Friday, 9 to 3, with 60 to 70 other kids playing a bunch of different activities. They are really, the level of like engagement they get out of one of those programs is up there. And it's not just the campers that are at these things, it's the middle school kids and the high school kids get as much, if not more, out of these programs than the elementary school kids do. I mean, there's no question about it. The elementary school kids are just kids running around having fun like they should be. Middle school and high school kids are going through a lot of stuff, right? They're going more than ever these days with the phones. And for them to be able to get out and spend a week and sort of get out of their own world and have to focus on, you know, making these younger kids, or having fun with these other kids, giving them good experiences, or dealing with a kid who's having an emotional issue, or, you know, them doing all that stuff just does a lot of good stuff for them. So we have a great program here. We actually have a little bit of an issue in that we have so many kids who want to continue to coach with us that it creates a little bit of a problem, because it's almost like you have, like, you know, you've got 5, you know, you really might need 5 high school coaches to run the program, and you've got 25 kids who want to be there. And so you don't want to turn the other 25 kids away. If they want to be there, you know, so we make that work. But we have a scholarship program that that does make it work. Hang on one second now.
Where do you hold the summer program?
Right down at the Bates Elementary School. You know, nothing fancy, no air conditioning. We've got one gym, we've got like the little field right there, and you know, but it doesn't, you know, nothing, no new facilities, but they have a blast. So I'm just gonna put on our video.
You have music for that too, don't you? I walk my dog up around there, and I see your programs going on. And
Oh, yeah.
and it looks so wild and great.
Oh yeah, we're loud,
That's
but we do,
wonderful.
you know, when we're right on base, we've got some houses up there. You know, we drop off a flyer up and down the street. We're like, hey, we're going to be here between 9 and 3. This is when we get loud. You know, and if we're too loud, here's the phone number. Call us. We'll try to, you know.
Oh,
So
I hope not. I hope you don't hear from them.
right, we get a couple calls, but so here's our video that we put in for the contest. They made us keep it to 3 minutes, so it's really quick. A couple sections in here where there's some text in here that you really don't have a chance to read. I'll stop it and just tell you what it says, but we had to do that to kind of make it fit into the 3 minutes. But this gives you a good flavor for what we do. These are the facts. We're kind of restating these problems. Hang on a second. It's playing over itself. Take two. It was double playing.
My name is in 2006, I helped co-found the Bridge program at Wellesley High School. The Bridge program helps students return from hospitalizations and extended absences and helps transition them back to school. With our youth facing dramatically increasing challenges, I'm thankful to introduce a wholly organic remedy grown locally for 30 years. Connecting kids from kindergarten through college, generations of local youth in the purest way, the power of play.
I see your crack.
It makes it more exciting.
Yeah. These are all in the middle of games, all the stuff that's going on. Like, you know, we're loose. Our games are loose.
The energy, I was just going to say, it's high energy, and there's your word.
Yeah. That guy's going to play football at Princeton, that kid, that coach right there, next year. Yeah.
What was his high school team? Wellesley?
Yeah?
Groton.
And also like connect with one another, you know, in person, face to face, as opposed to through a screen. So it's really all about just getting the kids out here on a ball field, in the gym, running around, having fun, and getting to know each other.
So this is the middle school after school. That other stuff was the summer camp. This is the middle school after school.
Today we're playing basketball at school, which is great after sports. It's a program where we play flag football, dodgeball, and basketball after school, and it's a really fun time. And I love playing for an hour of, releasing my energy and having fun with my friends.
That's talking about the Commonwealth supporting what we're doing, and then Adam just has a quick little. We got some great testimonies from parents.
And urgently needed organic remedy. With your support, they will expand, reach, serve more communities, and support the physical, social, and emotional wellness of the heart.
So that guy right there, Adam Diliberto, he actually went to our program like way back we started in 91, so I think he was like a 12-year-old kid when we started. He founded a program at the high school, at Wellesley High School, and if you caught, it was quick in the beginning. His job is, he's taking kids that have been hospitalized with mental health issues, or just missing school on a regular basis because of other mental health issues, and helping to try to get them back into the school, okay? They have a whole department set up for it. That's how many kids there are. People don't hear about it because you've got to be sensitive to privacy issues. Schools also don't want to talk about it because people think that they're going to blame them. They'll say, when it's really not their fault, but those, so that's what he does on a daily basis. And it's great, he's on our board, he grew up in our programs, and so he's basically just out there trying to say to people like, this is what the kids need, is more of this type of stuff, as simple as it is. So back to our summer coach. So our summer coaching scholarships. So we actually have like an incentive program for the kids. So the summer coaches get $60 a day, $300 a week, okay? And that's, again, it's set up so that we have as many kids that want to do it as possible, okay? So the parents, the only way that we can really do that is to have the parents self-fund it. So it's like if you have a high school kid, you're sending your kid to camp for $300 a week, and then each day the money goes back to your kid. So you're not, at the end of the week your kid has the $300 back, but it's not automatic because you're still dealing with high school kids. They come in there and they want to walk around on their cell phones and not coach the kids. We're like, listen, that's 60. We'll take the 60 right back from you, pal, and it works. The first year we did it, we didn't have that, and they were all sitting around walking around their phones, not coaching. We're like, okay, you got to throw a little incentive in there, and it work like that. It's great. So we've got that solved. The problem is, for starters, there's a good number of kids in town who would love to come and coach at our program and pick up that incentive, but the parents can't help cover it. And they want to be there, they should be there. They are some of our absolute best coaches. And so there's a financial need to support those kids participating in our program as coaches. And then there's another issue in that there are some kids, there's a lot of kids who are just absolutely exceptional coaches. I mean, that have gone on to teach and coach. We've got 2 coaches in the NFL, like assistant coaches in the NFL. We've got the head football coach at Tufts University, coach our program. So some of these kids are just exceptional. And so we want to have a system where, even though the parents are covering the majority of kids, if you're really, really good, you get an achievement scholarship because you earned it, And so we've got both of these needs. And so just to, again, as a suggestion, we do 6 weeks of camp. If something like we were to do 1 achievement scholarship a week and 1 need scholarship a week, that's 6 weeks. There would be, it could be up to 12 coaches could be either recognized or supported. So that could be spread out to just 12 different kids. It doesn't have to go to just 1 kid every week. It'd be better actually to spread it out if possible. And that would amount to $3,600. Again, 100% of that going right back to all of those coaches. So that's something that, like, if in anything, would be a help. And then the other concept I mentioned to John, if possible, I think it would be a great idea, would be if, like, whoever our scholarship coaches were, if we could if the club were able to support any of them, to have them back in the fall, have them come to a dinner, and get up and say a few words and what it did, what they got out of it, and all of absolutely. So that is it. There's one more. Questions? Yes.
What's the budget?
But for our, yeah, well, so we asked the state for to really do the blueprint, okay? And before I give you the number, just a quick reminder, the blueprint is us really engaging with universities, and we're talking to Boston University, that's where I went and played baseball, so that's a natural. And having universities really adopt this whole concept as a university-wide initiative, because there's a lot that really goes into breaking. If you want to really blueprint this thing into like a formal curriculum with teacher training and quality control and you know, we'd like to do, there's a bunch of things we'd like to do some studies on, that if you want to go and get a sizable gift from a New Balance, you need specified studies and metrics and all sorts of stuff that we don't have and we can't afford to put together. If we can plug into a BU on a multi-year level and have them doing that work together with us at our programs, then we can feel like we can go to the big companies and get the big support. So we asked the state they asked us for like 3 ranges. We asked them for like $300,000, $400,000, and $500,000, and we got $100,000. So which we greatly appreciate, but it's still we really don't have much capacity to do, much more than what we're doing currently. But again, we're working on it. And, so if we go to BU and hopefully we get some support from them, and that's just how all of this works,
How much time do you spend on this?
I mean, I really spend more, and I mean, technically I'm in the financial services business. But, and I have been for 30 years, but one of the beauties of that business is you are able to have some control over, we have relationships with firms who work together with us that sort of frees me up so I don't have to be like frontline involved with that stuff, which is 24/7 itself. So I do have flexibility to put the majority of my time into this because I've got, 3 kids, one just graduated from college, one's a senior in college, one's a junior at the high school, and we've been working on this for a while because all those years when I was coaching, I could see it coming. I'm like, you could just see it. If you're out there with them often enough, you're like, these kids are in trouble. This is not, all this stuff is going in a bad direction. They need help. I've been doing this, you're only here once. What are you going to do with your life? And this is a real need. There's a lot more guys in the financial services business that are out there doing stuff than there are out helping kids that are good at doing that. So I'm just going to try to do as much as I can with this because they need it.
The sports that you run in your programs, are they team sports, individual sports, combination?
Yep, combination. That's kind of like the key, So combination. So the sports are baseball, basketball, flag football, soccer, dodgeball. Wiffle ball. We'll do some wiffle ball depending on the what the situation is.
What about kickball?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We've done some kickball. Any kind,
I used to play it.
I love kickball.
Kickball's a great game. Kickball's a great game.
The bus
We
stop
played-
every day.
Yeah. The program we run at this middle school in East Boston, and these kids are absolutely unbelievable. They play a lot of kickball out at they've got like a little playground out there and they play kickball all the time.
But can you just lay out what's happening this week? And what's your program doing this week?
Yeah. Let's see, we are doing Friday at the middle school. I'm going to work backwards. We're doing Friday at the middle school. We are doing Wednesday. We are doing a flag football, 3 o'clock flag football over at the new the sports center with the ice and the turf.
Yeah.
In there from 3 to 4. We're doing a flag football thing in there. Wednesday night we do dodgeball and Needham. And Monday night we do dodgeball at Wellesley Rec. That's this week. Next week we help run Wellesley. We run Wellesley Little League's preseason clinics for them. Which again, that's helping like a local league where it's like they're losing kids to these private clubs. We're trying to help them as like a local town-based organization, provide a quality program. We've got experience in that. So
How do the kids get paid? By check or by cash?
they get paid, we pay them through PayPal actually, electronically. So they get paid and they get, if they get over $600, they get $10.99. You have to, we did get the full audit, even though we don't really take in a lot of money, but we served as the private, fiduciary fiscal agent for the high school turf field. When they put the turf on the high school field, which was a $2 million project, they needed a 501c3 for the private donations, so we set up a segregated account under our thing, and that allowed people to make donations. It just came right in and then it went right back out to the field. But when you get a certain number of dollars come in, you got to go through the whole full audit, which was good because it just sort of teaches you, like, all right, if you ever do get up to that level for real, like, this is where you got to get all this. So we've got it all lined up.
Joe, on your way up to that level and trying to raise money, I guess a question that will be asked is, how do you measure success?
Yep, it's a good point. So we do have a metric that is, I probably skipped over it right here. We've developed our own metric, which we call, I did skip over it, positive impactful experiences. So what we're saying is, our goal is every time a kid comes out and plays, that they have a positive, impactful experience. Those are the things that just, help get them through the day, get you through the week. And so that number we started that up as of when we started the nonprofit, which was 5 years ago. So now, that's a very basic metric, and I think what you're getting at is you definitely need to really expand on what you're reporting and the outcomes and all. And that's...
You would do that with BU?
That's what we want to do with a BU. Yeah, like the concept will be like, we'll keep running our programs, you guys come in, you study how we do it, you put it into a curriculum, you do the studies on like the effects and the outcomes and stuff like that. I feel like I know most of what I see what they get out of it, but you got to get it down into that to go get the big companies. So again, it's like everything else, it's a big work in progress for sure. But that's again where it's like the few people and organizations locally. We've been doing this 5 years, and we've been trying to get the word out pretty well. And it's just amazing how few people either listen or care. It just is. But there are some, and the ones that do care and that do listen, you really got to be thankful for, because you can't just go chasing the big new balances. Like if you don't get support from the local people, from the local organizations, you're just not going to be able to survive.
So I'm curious as to the fact that you actually have to pay people to coach. I can understand high school kids, but what about reaching out to the community and seeing if there's any retired coaches or somebody that has the time to volunteer and give back? We do have some people that volunteer like in different capacities. When it gets into like running the programs, I feel like, if you're running a program and you've got a certain number of kids there, you just have to be, it's like if you're running a restaurant, you need this, and this, and if any one of those don't show up, like things start to fall apart. So the volunteer thing I think is important, but in terms of like the program management, you have to be reliable and consistent. And again, because of what they're doing provides such an valuable impact to the kids, we have no problem paying them. And a big part of this, ultimately what we see this is as like a great tool that you would, for a teacher, for like a young teacher, right? So let's say you're a young teacher in Natick, okay? You grew up in Natick and maybe you played sports, okay? and now you're back in your hometown, you want to teach and serve the community. Our plan with this is we take our blueprint, we go to this coach in Natick and say, here you go, it's turnkey, you can run and build this program up in your hometown and, design it so that like there'd be financial incentive for this person to build this program. They'll get paid doing it, and it'll be a supplemental income to their teaching income, which they all need and deserve. And so it's like a good way. That's our growth plan in terms of how we would take this into other towns, as well as providing jobs for the kids. And that's the other thing is that it really, not only do the kids have fun at these programs, but when they do start to get paid, that really does a lot for a high school kid. It's like it's their own money. They feel good about it. They can learn how to deal with it, and a lot of good stuff comes out of that too.
So this Friday coming up is the first Friday.
Yes.
And if somebody wanted to come and see it,
Yes.
where would it be?
At the Wellesley Middle School.
In both gyms?
Both gyms. Yep. Both gyms and the CAF. Yep.
We go play dodgeball.
Yeah.
I'll take you on in kickball.
There you go.
We also offer yoga, right? More mindful.
We do. Yes. Thank you. My wife is a yoga instructor actually, and she fortunately got me into yoga like many years ago. So
I'm a big yoga fan.
And we offer it. I'd like to really, again, long term, really add that as like a major component. I think that that in terms of what I personally have gotten, just just managing. I mean, it's great for your body, but in terms of just like your mind and meditation and how you're able to control your thoughts and deal with things, that's what you learn in yoga. And it's something that, I think every single kid, at least high school age kids, middle school kids will probably goof around too much, but I think every single high school age kid should be doing yoga like 3 times a week minimum to build up that, not just the physical, but like the mental piece. That's what and they don't have those skills. My own guy's going through something right now, and I'm sitting there looking at myself like, if he had these types of skills, he'd be able to deal with this better, but he doesn't because it hasn't been taught to him. And, but I really feel like 10, 20 years from now, because again, some of this stuff is so achievable. It's not like we're looking for some miracle cure to some disease that you got to spend millions of dollars to come up with the cure. We have it. We just got to get it out there. And so that's an easier problem. It's still not easy, but it's an easier problem than discovering the cure to some virus,
What percentage?
One more.
One last question. What percentage of kids actually participate in the program?
We get on the after school at the middle school, we get like, for the regular Friday sessions, we'll get 30 to 40 kids. For the first Fridays, we'll get 50, 60, 70 kids. We also run teen centers for the recreation department. Those are like Friday or Saturday night events at the middle school, and for those we'll get anywhere between 100 to 200-300 kids. We'll do those depending on which event it is. But the other answer to that is those numbers are not nearly enough. It should be, instead of 40 kids, it should be 300 kids. And we're working with the schools, we're putting together a town-wide task force, because the schools are not very good at collaborating. So we're getting the town-wide task force to get the schools to sit down and to get them to sort of help promote, kids, the importance of kids being active after school. What we think is a good plan would be, say at the middle school, you're not going to get a kid every day. Kids in this town have so much going on, but we think we could say, one day a week. So say Tuesday's 6th grade day, Wednesday's 7th grade day, Thursday's 8th grade day. So if you're a parent of a 7th grader, you're like, hey Johnny, it's Wednesday, right? I'll pick you up at 4 instead of 2:30. You're going to stay at school and you're going to find something, you're going to have 20 different things you can pick from. You do whatever you want. Have fun with your class, right? Because it's important for them to bond together with that class, which they don't do these days now. They're all detached because of the electronics. Come together, face to face, have some fun once a week. That, you know, that's doable. We should have been able to do it like that, but we're working on it. In 5 years from now, we will have something like that where instead of 40 kids, it will be 300-400 kids. That's our goal, you know.
Great job.
Yep.